Hello, dear students. Welcome back to another lecture on readings in literature. I hope you have enjoyed the two short stories that we discussed: The Man Who Was a Hospital and An Exercise Book. Those stories were really interesting. Today, let's discuss a poem by Margaret Atwood. Have you ever heard of this poet? Probably you might not be, because she is not an Indian poet. She is a Canadian poet. At the same time, she is a novelist, essayist, and environmental activist. The poem title Journey to the Interior. What do you conclude from this title? Probably you will say that yes, it is a poem about a journey. Yes, it is. We all love to travel. But here, the destination of the poet or the speaker is something different, something unique. Usually, we do travel to some places, but here the speaker is now not traveling to a place, he is traveling to the interior. What does it mean? What is the meaning of this interior? Here, the term interior, it indicates or it refers the psyche or the soul of the poetess. So, the speaker of the poem is the poet itself. The poet is a female, that is why I am using the term poetess. And it is a monologue. You know what is monologue? What is monologue? You have studied what is monologue in earlier classes. Monologue means it is a long speech by a single character in a play or in a poem or in a film or in a theatrical performance, anywhere. So, a long speech by a single character is monologue. This poem, Journey to the Interior by Margaret Atwood, is also a monologue. The poetess is exploring her mind, her soul. Usually, we use similes or metaphors to indicate something. Here, though the poetess is exploring the mind, she stretches out to the journey to the mountain. When you go through the first stanza of this poem, you won't understand that the poet is exploring or the poet is trying to explore her mind. Let's read the first stanza. There are similarities, I notice, that the hills which the eyes make flat as a wall, welded together, open as I move to let me through, become endless as prairies, that the trees grow spindly, have their roots often in swamps, that this is a poor country, that a cliff is not known as rough except by hand, and is therefore inaccessible. So, this is the first stanza. The poet is saying that there are similarities. Similarities. So, from that term itself, the reader has to conclude the poetess is trying to compare two things. So, a comparison is happening. So, the poet is traveling. The poetess is on a journey and saying, yes, I'm traveling. Suddenly, I notice. So, from this stanza, we can infer that the poet is on a journey into a jungle. Okay, this is what we can infer from this stanza. The poet is on a journey into a jungle. Why I have concluded like that? Why I'm not saying that the poet is on a journey into a city place? Because here there is a reference of ranges of mountain, grazing land, swampy land, trees, rough rock, etc. Haven't you noticed all these things in the first stanza? Probably you might not, because we have read the stanza only once. So when you are studying a poem, you have to reread it. Then only you can understand what is hidden in the poem. So the poetess is on a journey into the jungle. I noticed. So suddenly the poetess noticed something. What is it? The hills which the eyes make a flat as a wall. A huge mountain. It looks like a wall. It looks like a wall. And when the poetess come close to it, she found it is open. So when the poetess look at that huge mountain from far away, it looks like a wall, but there is an opening which the eyes make flat as a wall, welded together. So two mountains are welded together, and there is a, a small opening. Open as I move to let me through, become endless as prairies. And it is open. And Margaret Atwood, the poetess, walks through that opening. And where she found prairie. What is prairie? It is a grazing land. What is grazing land? Pultagade. An open grazing land is visible. Become endless as prairies that the trees grow spindly. And in that grazing land, she has noticed number of trees which are spindly. Spindly means curved. ചില മരങ്ങളൊക്കെ എങ്ങനെയാണ് വളരുന്നത്? ഒരൊറ്റ തടിയായിട്ടല്ല, അത് ചിലതിന് വളവും തിരിവും, ചിലത് മലർന്ന് താഴെ വീണ് കിടക്കും, തടിക്കൊക്കെ വളവുണ്ടായിരിക്കും. അപ്പം അങ്ങനെയുള്ള സ്ട്രെയിറ്റ് അല്ല, വളഞ്ഞു കിടക്കുന്ന മരങ്ങൾ കാണും. ആ ലാൻഡിൽ കണ്ടു. Grow spindly, have their roots often in swamps, and the trees grows in swamp. What is swamp? Yes, what is swamp? Have you remember the meaning? ചതുപ്പ് നിലം, low-lying, water collected, a marshy land, that is swamp. ചതുപ്പ് പ്രദേശം. ചതുപ്പിനകത്തും എന്ത് വളരാറുണ്ട്? മരങ്ങൾ വളരാറുണ്ട്. അതിങ്ങനെ ചില മരങ്ങളൊക്കെ വളഞ്ഞാണ് വളരുന്നത്. That this is a poor country. Okay, saying that this is a poor country. That a cliff is not known as rough except by hand and is therefore inaccessible. A cliff. അപ്പോൾ അവിടെ നോക്കുമ്പോൾ എന്തുണ്ട്? ലൊക്കേഷൻ ക്ലിയർ അല്ല. എന്താണ് ഇത്, എവിടെയാണ്, ഇതൊരു പുവർ കൺട്രിയാണ്, ഇതെന്താണ്, എവിടെയാണ് എന്നൊന്നും പെട്ടെന്ന് മനസ്സിലാക്കാൻ കഴിയുന്നില്ല എന്ന് പോയറ്റസ് പറയുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ ഒരു സ്റ്റാൻസയുടെ ഫസ്റ്റ് സ്റ്റാൻസ കാണുമ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് എന്തേ തോന്നുന്നുള്ളൂ? ഷീ ഈസ് ഓൺ എ ജേർണി. ബട്ട് ആക്ച്വലി ഷീ ഈസ് referring her psyche, or she is talking about a journey into the mind. So first of all, she said that she has seen a huge mountain. So the poet is of the opinion that if someone tried to look into their soul, it won't be visible. We do have a soul, but most of the time we are unaware of what is happening or what is going through in our mind. And if you try to look into it, it won't be easy. You have to overcome certain hurdles. So if you try to look into your mind, where you feel that your soul is covered with a mountain. അപ്പം നിങ്ങൾ പെട്ടെന്ന് നിങ്ങളുടെ മനസ്സിലേക്ക് നോക്കാൻ ശ്രമിക്കുമ്പോൾ ഒരു വലിയ മൗണ്ടെയിൻ കൊണ്ട് നിങ്ങളുടെ മനസ്സിലേക്ക്, ഉള്ളിലേക്ക് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് കടന്നു ചെല്ലാൻ പറ്റുന്നില്ല എന്ന് തോന്നും. പറ്റത്തില്ല, നമ്മൾ ഗിവ് അപ്പ് ചെയ്യും. ബട്ട് ഷീ ഈസ് സേയിങ് ദാറ്റ് ഡോണ്ട് ഗിവ് അപ്പ്. ട്രൈ ഇറ്റ് വൺസ്. Go close to it. Then you can see a small opening and enter into the soul with that small opening. There you can see an open land. Okay. The one soul, it is a huge space. ഒരാളുടെ മനുഷ്യൻ്റെ മനസ്സെന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഇങ്ങനെ പരന്ന് കിടക്കുന്ന ഒരു ഹ്യൂജ് സ്പേസ് ആണ്, ഒരു ഗ്രേസിംഗ് ലാൻഡ് പോലെ കിടക്കുകയാണ്. ബട്ട് ഇഫ് യു ട്രൈ ടു പെനിട്രേറ്റ് ഇൻ ടു ഇറ്റ്, ഇനീഷ്യലി ഇറ്റ് വോണ്ട് ബി പോസിബിൾ. You see, it seems it's very difficult. But if you try and if you go close to it, if you make another attempt, you will see the opening and you can see a mind which is vast and it has huge space. And the next image, she talked about the trees which grows in swamps and spindly. So here also the inner world is also sparse. She is saying that ഇവിടെ എന്താണ്, സ്വാമ്പിലുള്ള മരങ്ങളെക്കുറിച്ച് പറഞ്ഞു. അപ്പം അങ്ങനെ കാണുന്നൊരു കാഴ്ച അതുപോലെയാണ്. അപ്പം എന്താണ്, സ്കാറ്റേർഡ് ആണ് സ്വാമ്പ് അല്ലേ. ഈ കാട്ടിലൂടെ പോകുമ്പോൾ സ്കാറ്റേഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള മരങ്ങൾ, സ്വാമ്പ്, നമുക്ക് ഉറച്ചു നിൽക്കാൻ പറ്റത്തില്ല. മാർഷി ലാൻഡിൽ ചതുപ്പ് പ്രദേശത്ത് നമുക്ക് നടക്കാൻ പോലും പറ്റില്ല. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മളുടെ ആ ഹ്യൂജ് സ്പേസ് ആണെങ്കിലും ആ ഹ്യൂജ് സ്പേസിലൂടെ നമ്മുടെ മനസ്സിലേക്ക് നമ്മൾ കടന്നു ചെന്ന് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ അതിലൂടെ ഒരു ജേർണി എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് നോട്ട് സോ ഈസി, ബിക്കോസ് ഇറ്റ് സീംസ് ലൈക്ക് സ്പേഴ്സ്, ഇറ്റ് സീംസ് ലൈക്ക് എ സ്വാമ്പി ലാൻഡ്, സ്കാറ്റേർഡ്. And also saying that even as one cannot go up to the cliff without gripping the rough rock with one's hands without effort, the inner world is inaccessible. It says that the cliff is not known as rough except by hand and is therefore inaccessible. ഇപ്പോൾ അവിടെ പറഞ്ഞു സ്വാമ്പി ലാൻഡ് കണ്ടുകൊണ്ട് ഒരു ക്ലിഫൊക്കെ ഇവർ കാണുന്നുണ്ട്. ആ ക്ലിഫിലൂടെ അല്ലേ, ഒരു ക്ലിഫ്, ഒരു കുന്ന് കടന്ന് അപ്പുറത്തേക്ക് പോകണം എന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ നമ്മൾ അള്ളിപ്പിടിച്ച് കയറണം. അങ്ങനെ ഒരു ക്ലിഫാണ്, അള്ളിപ്പിടിച്ച് കടക്കേണ്ട ഒരു ക്ലിഫ് തൻ്റെ യാത്രയിൽ കണ്ടു, അല്ലെ ജംഗിളിൽ കണ്ടു എന്നാണ് നമുക്ക് തോന്നുന്നത്. പക്ഷെ ഇവിടെ എന്താണ് പറയുന്നത്? നമ്മുടെ മനസ്സിലേക്ക് നമ്മൾ കടന്നു ചെന്ന് അതിനെ കൃത്യമായി നിരീക്ഷിക്കണമെങ്കിൽ നമുക്കെന്താണ്, നല്ല എഫേർട്ട് എടുക്കേണ്ടി വരും. നമ്മൾ ക്ലിഫിൽ ഇങ്ങനെ പിടിച്ച് അള്ളിപ്പിടിച്ച് കയറുന്ന തൊട്ട് അത്രയും എഫേർട്ടോടുകൂടി, പേഷ്യൻസോടുകൂടി കയറി ചെന്നാൽ മാത്രമേ വി ക്യാൻ ആക്സസ് അവർ മൈൻഡ്. If you are traveling through a jungle, that your movements may not be easy. You will feel difficult to locate the places. Sometimes you can locate the places in a map, but when you are traveling, it will be difficult for you to identify the exact location. So similarly, when you are traveling through your soul, it will be difficult for you to travel because the path is full of darkness and the destination is not clear. The journey through a jungle is not easy. It will be difficult because of darkness and light alternating. The destination will not be clear at all. So this is the same thing. This is the similar experience you will feel if you are traveling through your inner world. So that is why the poetess begin the poem with "There are similarities." Journey through the jungle and journey through your inner world. Both journeys have similarities. So the theme of this poem, Journey to the Interior, is one's journey through his or her soul. I hope you have understood this much. Let's discuss rest of the poem in the next class. Now, what you have to do is you have to share your experience. The experience means, have you ever tried to explore your mind? Have you ever think about yourself? And if you do so, how did you feel? And if you don't have such experience, don't worry, just try it now and write down your experience in your notebook that we will discuss in one of the live sessions. That live session will be at any time. So be prepared with your answers. And one more thing, the last day I asked you to submit a classwork, but unfortunately a few students from both the classes, both English and mathematics, haven't uploaded the answers, and haven't informed anything at all. So if you haven't, those students haven't contact me in person, I will be forced to remove them from my lectures. You will stay remain in the Google Classroom for second DC3, but you won't get my lectures. Your names will be deselected from next week onwards. I'm not saying this to threaten you, but this is the fact that you are going to face. I have only one word. I told you, if everyone in the class didn't submit the answers, I won't post any lecture at all. 95% of students have submitted the classwork. So I don't want to put them in trouble. That is why I'm taking this decision. So go through the poem, and when you're listening these lectures, do not forget to write down the points in your own words. If you do so, it will be helpful for you in future. Thank you.